Hey everybody, my name is Tom and I am a recovering overthinker. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in this YouTube video, I'm going to share with you a few things that helped me get from overthinking to actually taking action, like actually making this video, starting this YouTube channel, and starting to share some of the things that I've been working on to get me into action and getting me to a place where I'm not just thinking about stuff all the time, but I am actually moving forward. I am creating things and I am doing the things that I say that I want to do instead of constantly thinking about them. So let's just get right into it. The first thing that I would say that is something that came to me very early on in my journey of trying to figure out why I think so much instead of taking action was the idea that there is no right answer. Something that I've been really fighting with or struggling with over the past few years is really trying to find the right answer for something. What I have been overthinking or what I've been struggling with is figuring out what my next career is going to be or the direction that I want my life to go in. And I had to put it all in this perfect little box, and it had to make sense, and it all had to go together perfectly. The thing that I wanted to do had to be able to check all of these boxes and make everything right. And what I have figured out, or what I've come to believe, is that there is no right answer. If you want to do something in your life, if you want to achieve a certain goal, there are an unlimited number of ways to make that goal happen. If you want to be a speaker, or you want to be a teacher, or you want to make $1 million, or whatever it might be, if you just want to be happier, then there are so many different ways to go about doing that. There isn't just one right answer. There isn't just one way. It's the classic saying that there's a million ways or 99 ways to skin a cat. That is actually true in life. If you have a goal, there isn't just one way to achieve a goal. Look at all the success that has been created in our world and think of all the different ways that it's done it. And for some reason, for me, there was only one way to create success, and I had to figure out exactly that way before I could make any movement. So if you're overthinking it because you're trying to find the right answer, I'm going to say that you already have the right answer, and it's probably one of the 5, 10, 15, 20 answers that you already came up with. And the toughest part about that is actually just making a choice. It's okay to just pick one of them because there isn't any of them that's going to be perfect. There's just the one that you choose, and then you start actually moving and taking action on. Here's the next thing that was really valuable for me in understanding that it was time to just get going, is that nobody does the same thing forever. One thing that I really struggled with in this whole process is that I want to be great. I want to be really good at something, and so I thought that I had to choose something, and then I was going to spend the rest of my life doing that thing, and that was just going to be the rest of my life. And so I spent all this time trying, again, going back to the first thing, is make the right decision. What was the right thing that I was going to do? Because I had to do that thing for the rest of my life. I grew up as an athlete. I pay a lot of attention to sports. So a lot of the time I compare myself to professional athletes, or I look at the greats in sports and I think about them and I correlate myself to them. And if I look at Michael Jordan or Tom Brady or Wayne Gretzky or anybody that was the great of the great in their sport for a time, they don't do the same thing forever. People that are great at something eventually move on. Tom Brady retired. Michael Jordan retired. They can't do the same thing forever and ever. Now, I guess if you look at Warren Buffett, he has done something for a really, really long time and been the greatest at it. But even in that, there are evolutions. You learn things, you evolve. And that's something that I didn't really give myself the opportunity to think about or even consider. I had to figure it out before I even got started. And I can supplement that by saying I had to figure out what I was passionate about, or really what I wanted to do, before I even got started. And this might be an even more important part to the whole thing. How am I supposed to figure out what I enjoy doing if I'm not actually doing anything? So how can I figure out what my passion is? And that's a whole other topic. But how do I figure out what I want to pursue if I'm trying to theorize all of it? I guess what I'm saying is whether you understand what you really care about and you want to take action on that, or you're not really sure what you care about, you don't know what your passion is, you don't know what the rest of your life is going to be like, the best way to figure anything out is to get into action, is to actually take steps towards doing something so that you can figure out all of those things. One thing that I equated to is science. People that are in science, and I'm not a scientist, but what do scientists do? They do experiments. So they're actually in the lab working and trying to figure things out. They don't all just sit around a table and talk about what they think is going to happen or how the world works. They actually get their hands dirty, they do experiments, they learn something, and then they adjust. Life is the exact same way. You have to actually get into the arena, you have to get it onto the field and actually do something, try something, and see if you enjoy it, see if you don't enjoy it, see what you might enjoy instead, and then actually take action on those things. And through that action, through that understanding of what you just did, you can figure out if that's for you or if it's not for you. But the most important part is to take action and understand that just because you choose something now doesn't mean that you have to do it forever. And the next one is that nobody is going to make the choice for you. And at the end of the day, you don't really want somebody making the choice for you because then it's not your choice. And you can't be fully invested. You're not truly living your life if somebody is always making your choices for you. So if you want to and I'm kind of making the choice by telling you to not make the choice, but I would encourage you to take responsibility, take ownership of your life, and take those actions for yourself. Take them for who you see you want to be, what direction you want to move in. Otherwise, you are living your life through somebody else's lenses. You're living your life by what somebody else tells you to do as opposed to what feels the most full and the right direction for you. And sure, it's great to get feedback from other people, to learn from other people, and to get ideas from other people. But make your choices for yourself. And this isn't like a selfish thing or like listening to other people is bad, because I strongly feel getting feedback from people is important, learning from other people is important, having a group of people around you that you trust is so vitally important to being the best person that you can be. But at the end of the day, I would strongly encourage, what was really valuable for me is understanding that I get to make my choices for what I'm going to do, who I'm going to be, what I believe in, what I value. Because at the end of the day, everybody is trying to live their own life. You know, nobody wants to make choices for you because they're trying to make their own. And people will want the best for you. People want you to succeed. People want you to have secure choices. So if you want to start a business, you know, somebody might try to sway you away from that because it's risky. And if you want to take that risk, understand the risks and go for it. And you can learn from it and keep iterating and learning from all of those things. But the big thing for me was I almost was too afraid to make a choice. And so I wanted somebody to make it for me so that I could just go. Because I refused or I was unable to make that choice for myself. And so I just wanted to have somebody make it for me. And fortunately, I have people in my life that are unwilling to make choices for me. So I had to figure that out for myself and take responsibility for my life and start moving in the direction that I wanted to move in. Because eventually you're going to get to a point in life where there won't be anybody to make choices for you. And if you don't practice the skill of making choices, then when difficult decisions come up, it gets hard and you won't have that person to lean on. Making decisions is a skill. So the sooner you start working on that skill, the better off you're going to be. And of course, it's great to get insight from other people. It's good to have feedback and to have somebody to bounce things off of. But the sooner that you're able to build that muscle, to build the skill of decision making, the faster you can move, the faster you'll be able to learn, and the faster you can bounce back if something doesn't work, about figuring out what is next, what's going to be the next thing that you do, or however else you're going to move forward. If you can do that on your own, if you can be independent in that way, it's a strength that will help you in all situations of your life. The next thing that's been really valuable for me is just learning that it's okay to let things go. If I'm being honest, I'm a bit of a gamer. I used to do a podcast about this video game called Rocket League. I still play it a lot. I used to make videos a lot about a game called Rocket League. And as I was trying to make the decision of what was going to be next in my life, it was either moving forward with videos like this or honing in more on Rocket League content and doing things in the gaming space. And though I love gaming, I don't necessarily see that as a direction that I want to go for my future. And I was still holding on to it. I didn't want to let it go because it was such a valuable thing to me, and I loved the game and I loved doing that stuff so much. But I saw myself go in a different direction, or wanting to go in a different direction. And that's part of why I led with there is no right choice. There is just a choice. And at the end of the day, I had to be okay with letting go of Rocket League, or saying that Rocket League really served me. It was great to get those lessons. It was great to get all the learning and growth that I got out of making the content, out of doing the podcast, out of playing the game and really struggling with it. And it served its purpose. And now I'm ready to let it go, which I for a long time, I don't think I was willing to or able to let it go, and then move on to this next thing. It doesn't mean that I don't love the game. It doesn't mean that it's not valuable to me or that I don't care about it anymore, but it's just not the thing anymore. And sometimes the thing isn't the thing anymore, and that's okay. You see people on YouTube here evolve, and they get really popular talking about one thing, and then eventually they evolve, and so their content evolves, the topics evolve, the things that they care about evolve, and they move on. And I love Rocket League, and I probably always will love Rocket League, but I know that I aspire to bigger things than just talking about that video game and making content about that video game. So if there's something in your life that you feel might be holding you back because you don't want to let it go, or it was such a critical part of your life and now you see yourself moving in a direction and I almost felt bad about letting the game go. But at this point, I look at it from a perspective of I'm just grateful that I had the game and I have the game. And I look at it for the lessons that I learned from it while I was doing those things. And quite frankly, I'm still learning a lot of lessons from the game when I play it and when I practice, and I'm still trying to improve, but I just don't spend as much time on it as I used to. But instead of being upset or sad or fearful of letting it go and almost like disappointing the game, I'm not so afraid of letting the game down anymore, because at the end of the day, it's just a game. And I am grateful to the experiences that I had. And I think that gratitude allows me to take another step and just be okay with saying thank you. I appreciate what you did for me. I'm very grateful for the experiences, and I'm going to take those experiences and move forward into whatever is next. And I'm always going to say great things about the game. I'm still a huge advocate. I think it's one of the best esports out there. I think it's fun to watch. I think it's really fun to play. I think it's a challenge. It's a great way to learn how to manage your anger and to work hard at something and understand the concepts of what you put in is what you get out. But I'm just not in a place where I want to spend the rest of my life just thinking about that game and making content about that game. The last thing that's really helped me in this process is finally being in a place where I know that I have people in my life that support me and believe in me and love me no matter what. I think that's been true for longer than I think that it was, but actually having people in my life that even when I fall down, when I make mistakes, when I do something wrong, I know that I can call them and they will support me and they will lift me up and they will encourage me, has been so valuable in this phase of my life. And not even necessarily talking to them or reaching out to them, even though I know that I could, but still having friends in my life that I know are excited to see me win and won't abandon me or, push me away when I screw up has been really valuable. People that hear my dreams, that know my dreams and encourage me and want to see me win in those dreams, that's really the thing that has pushed me forward or has supported me in getting out of this thinking process and getting into a place of action and willing to try things and mess things up and screw things up and make mistakes and fall down. It's just really nice knowing that when I do fall down, I have people there that are going to pick me up. And that isn't necessarily an easy thing to do. There is risk involved in simply just finding people that are willing to support you like that, because you don't know if somebody's going to be willing to sign up for that, right? It is a friendship in adulthood it's a commitment. And it's nice to have people that I feel are committed to that with me. So even if it takes 6 months, a year, or just 3 months, or whatever it might be, if you feel like you're overthinking a lot, find people that you know are a safe place for you to fall down and to skin your knee, that are going to be there to help you get back up and find some solutions, and that you can talk through things with, and that no matter whatever that dream might be for you, that they're going to be supportive and they're going to be willing to get you back on track. Because sometimes carrying the weight of our dreams alone can be a lot, and it's really important and valuable to have somebody that you can ask for feedback, that you can get feedback from, that you can get encouragement from, that you can bounce ideas off of. All of these things are so vital to success. So to have those people is so crucial. And if you don't have those people, it's totally okay. Like, it's totally okay to not have those people in your life. And I would strongly encourage you to find those people and to get them in your life. And one of the ways to do that is to be that person for other people. So find people that you can encourage, find people that you can lift up, because they will want to do the same for you. And then you can both start winning. You can both start moving forward in your lives together. And life is a contact sport. It is meant to be done with other people and in groups, in my opinion. And so finding those people that can lift you up and you can lift them up and you can encourage each other in your goals and be excited about what you're working towards together is such a valuable thing, and has really been valuable for me to feel like it's okay to take risks in my life, to make mistakes, and to be excited about learning and moving forward in a way where if something goes wrong, I know that somebody will be there to pick me up and help me out and get me moving back in the right direction again. All right, well, this has been fun. If you have recently gotten out of a place of overthinking and you've also gotten into action, congratulations. Write down in the comments something that has worked for you, so that if somebody else comes upon this video and is working on getting over overthinking, they can find some other good resources or ideas that can help them.